Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. I didn't know you were gonna bring a translator. I actually
통역사를 데려갈 줄 몰라가지고
brought my own translator. Is that okay?
통역사를 데려가려고.
Oh, okay, cool. Can we bring out my translator, Dr. Ken Jeong? Is that Ken Jeong? Yeah. Okay. Could you please tell director Park how much I love and admire his work?
Ronnie loves
No,
and admires your work.
I'm sorry. Man, he can hear, okay? I meant in Korean. Tell him in Korean.
How do you say Ronnie likes and admires your work? Don't yell.
Yo, what the man? You told me you're embarrassing me in front of the director, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I lied. Okay, guilty. I just had to meet Director Park. He is the Korean Scorsese. He is the GOAT. He is the best of all time. This man inspires me. This man, I had to do what I had to do and take drastic measures to meet him. Much like the character in your movie, I had no other choice. Okay, get the get out. Okay, great.
Go back to. Go. Go back to Masked Singer. And why are you dressed like me? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about that, director. This movie is based off of the novel by an American author. What inspired you from the novel to turn this into a movie?
제가 이 소설 읽었을 때 마치 제가 정말 글을 잘 쓰는 사람이었으면 이렇게 썼을 것 같다는 생각이 들 만큼 정말 저하고 딱 어울리는 이야기다. 그리고 그런 스타일이다라는 생각이 들더라고요.
When I first read the novel, I thought that if I was actually a good writer, I would have written like this. It was the perfect style for me.
그런데 그 중에서도 특히 저를 이제 매료시켰던 것은 이것은 실직한 사람의 얘기거든요. 근데 자기가 오랫동안 충성을 다한 이 회사에서 해고됐다면 그 분노가 그 회사 또는 회사의 중역을 향할 텐데 그게 아니라 자기가 다시 취업을 하기 위해서 노력할 미래 잠재적인 경쟁자들을 향해서 그들을 미리 이렇게 하겠다는 그런 계획을 세운다는 점, 그게 너무 특이하고 부조리하게 느껴졌습니다.
And what really captivated me is it's a story about a man who was fired, and he's fired from a company that he was devoted to for a very long time. But instead of putting his rage towards the company or the executives there, he instead tries to go after his potential competitors when he's looking for a job again. And I thought that element of the story was very unique and absurd.
Can you please tell director that I'm nodding when he talks because just out of habit. I'm not trying to.
감독님 얘기할 때 그냥 습관적으로 끄덕이는 거니까 못 알아듣고.
But I actually have no idea what he's saying.
사실 뭐라고 하죠?
나도 마찬가지일 거예요.
I do that too.
Right. So, as I was saying, like this movie is based off an American novel, and you tried to make it in America for 20 years. But ultimately,
미국 영화로 만들려고 해요.
you faced so many issues trying to make it in America that you had to make it in Korea.
가지고 한국에서 만들었어요.
And it's a very successful movie now. It's probably up for Oscar awards. Can you please name every single American executive
거절했던 아메리카 익스큐티브.
that made it difficult for you to make this in America?
지금 말해주세요.
And let's just get it out now.
지금 말해주세요.
예, 정말 20년까지는 아니고 한 15년 정도 노력을 했던 것 같아요. 미국 영화로.
I heard Sony Pictures in that. Did he say Sony? Did he say Sony?
네, 먼저 갈게요.
So to clarify real quick, it didn't take me 20 years, it took me 15 years.
15 years.
그런데 그 이름들을 제가 다 말해드리고 싶지만 그러지 못하는 이유는 다음에도 저는 일을 해야 되기 때문에 또 투자를 받아야 되기 때문에 그런 일을 한다는 건 굉장히 어리석은 일이 될 것입니다.
And as much
Sorry. Did he say anything bad about Paramount? don't translate if he says bad things about Paramount. But, okay.
And as much as I want to say all the names, I do have to find my next job and my next investment.
I can't imagine someone saying no to Director Park at this point. You know, if he can't make a film in America, then no one can make a film.
영화를 누가 만들어요?
예, 영화 감독은 언제나 잠재적인 실직 상태에 있는 그런 사람이라고 보셔도 됩니다.
You can almost say directors are always a potential unemployed man.
Okay. There's some man. I don't even know how it began. I'm such a big fan of all his films. One of his hallmarks right now in Korean cinema seems to be this kind of genre shift in movies. And I just want to ask, when he's in the creation process, is this genre shifting something that he intentionally sets out to combine? For example, comedy into horror, or action into thriller, or is this something that just organically kind of comes out in his storytelling?
예, 확실히 제가 말씀드릴 수 있는 것은 무슨 칵테일 레시피처럼 뭐 무슨 술을 뭐 한 잔 붓고 거기에 무슨 또 다른 술을 몇 스푼 넣고 몇 방울 또 코미디를 넣고 뭐 이런 식으로 만들어지는 것은 아니다라는 겁니다.
Something I can say for sure is that it's not like a cocktail recipe. So it's not like a glass of this, a spoon of that, and a few drops of comedy there.
그거보다는 저는 이 우리의 삶이라는 것이 그냥 온전히 어떤 일은 그냥 슬프기만 하고 그냥 무섭기만 하고 그냥 웃기기만 하고 이런 일은 없다라는 생각을 가지고 있습니다.
Rather, I think in our lives, there's nothing that's purely sad or purely just funny.
그러니까 뭐 장례식장에서 우스운 일이 벌어질 수도 있고 어떤 굉장히 웃기는 코미디언의 마음속에 아주 슬픔이 자리 잡고 있을 수도 있잖아요. 그런 식으로 이런 것들은 다 한 덩어리다라는 생각으로 분리될 수 없는 것이다라는 생각으로 영화를 만듭니다.
For instance, you might find something funny at a funeral, or you might find this great sense of sadness inside a funny comedian. So that's why I think they are one entity, inseparable entity.
Wait, is he talking about me right now? Also, just so you know, you don't have to match his volume. You can be louder than him.
I can yell.
Yeah, you don't have to. I feel like you guys are getting soft. Anyway. So I mean, he says that there's no recipe for making a film. I understand. Obviously, he's a genius. He sees things how they see. But I actually beg to differ. I think there is. I can see a familiar recipe in all his great movies. I think it appears to me, and call me crazy, what do I know about film? But if you combine a great story and you shoot it beautifully and you have great acting and you put in Mr. Lee Byung-hun,
이병헌을 출연시키면
I think you have a great movie.
좋은 영화예요.
And I mean, does he agree with that?
동의하시는 바인가요?
예, 뭐 이병헌이 있었기 때문에 이 영화가 가능하다. 이 영화가 재밌어졌다라는 건 확실한 것 같습니다.
Yes, this movie was possible because of Lee Byung-hun, and as soon as he got casted, that's when I was certain that this was going to be a fun movie.
미국인 여러분께는 뭐 오징어 게임 그리고 K-pop 데몬 헌터스 같은 작품 때문에
I understood that. He said K-pop Demon Hunters. He said K-pop Demon Hunters, right?
그래서 이병헌이 좀 굉장히 사악한 인물처럼 느껴질지도 모르겠는데 이 영화에서는 그의 보통 사람 같은 모습, 평범한 사람의 우리 이웃 같은 모습 그리고 거기에 더해서 거의 그 슬랩스틱 코미디라고 할 정도 그렇게 불러도 될 정도의 유머 이런 것들이 다 섞여 있는 그런 연기를 보여줍니다.
I think to American audiences, they might have seen him from Squid Games or K-pop Demon Hunters, so you might consider him as this very evil character, but he's actually a very much an everyday man, almost like our own neighbor. And the humor that he shows in the movie is almost borderline slapstick comedy, which is why I think he was perfect for the role.
Sure, I mean, but no, I agree with him because when I saw Mr. Lee in the movie, he was like playing a character I never even seen before. I never even played that character. I mean, I do agree with him, being so versatile. To be honest, I didn't know he would be that versatile, which is great. You're a respected member of the filmmaking community. In your opinion, what is wrong with kind of filmmaking right now? And feel free to name names.
필름메이킹의 문제라기보다는 지금 저희가 느끼는 가장 큰 위기감은 극장으로 오는 극장을 떠났던 손님이 별로 돌아오지 않고 있다는 사실입니다.
I think rather than problems in filmmaking, the greatest sense of threat that I feel as a filmmaker is that audiences aren't returning to theaters.
그래서
Right, so he said audience, right? This.
관객을 잘못한
그게 아니고
Fuck these idiots who can't. What's,
그게 아니고
바보 같은
관객들이 극장에 와서 영화를 보고 싶도록 만들어야 하는데 이제 그것을 우리가 어떻게 해나갈 것이냐, 그것은 스튜디오뿐만 아니라 필름메이커들 모두의 큰 도전이고, 이것을 이제 어떻게 해결하느냐가 계속 우리 머릿속에 계속 자리 잡고 있는 숙제입니다.
You have to make the audience want to come back to the theaters. And how do we do that? I think that's a challenge for all of us to think about, including the studios and the filmmakers.
이것이 영화의 위기가 아니라 영화관의 위기가 아니냐라고 말하실 수도 있겠지만, 저는 영화관의 위기가 바로 영화의 위기다라고 생각합니다.
And you might say this is a threat to movie theaters and not movies, but I believe that a threat to movie theaters equates to a threat to movies.
무슨 얘기냐면 집에서도 얼마든지 영화를 볼 수 있지만 영화라고 하는 것은 근본적으로 어두운 공간에 그리고 함부로 중간에 나갈 수 없게 한 번 들어왔으면 끝까지 자리를 지키면서, 그리고 세 번째로 중요한 것은 모두가 함께, 여러 사람과 함께 경험하는 그것이 본질이기 때문에 영화관에서 볼 수 있는 영화를 얼마나 잘 만들어서 관객들이 영화관으로 돌아올 수 있게 하느냐가 저희의 할 일이죠.
Of course, you can watch movies at home, but I think movies were fundamentally made to be watched, first of all, in a dark space, and second of all, at a space where you're locked in and you're not allowed to leave. And finally, you have to be able to experience it with other people. And that's why I believe movies should be watched in theaters. And in order to make that happen, that's really a task for all of us.
Task for all of us. So he's saying it's on filmmakers and producers and studios to make interesting, cool things that people want to watch. And it's also on the people to stop watching films on their phones or taking a shit on the toilet. And he doesn't have to agree, just tell him to nod his head. If he doesn't have to say yes, but just say yes.
안 해도 되니까 끄덕여 하면 돼요.
Yeah, I mean, my last question is to him is like a lot of Korean films, including this film in particular as well, is commentary on capitalism. And America is the capital of capitalism, but it feels like Korea is doing a better job of satirizing it in movies and really making people think about it and see kind of the ugly sides of it. Like, why do you think that is?
한국 사람들이 좀 얼리 어답터들이잖아요. 그래서 자본주의 시스템이라는 것도 정말 그 좋은 점, 나쁜 점을 더 세계 어느 나라보다 더 극단적으로 경험하고 있는 것 같아요. 그래서 예를 들면 양극화 사회, 또 심한 경쟁 사회이기도 하거든요. 그래서 그런지 한국 사람들은 이 자본주의 시스템의 문제에 대해서 좀 더 예민하게 반응하고, 필름메이커들도 그것을 표현하는 데 더 관심이 많은 것 같습니다.
I think Koreans are really early adapters in everything. So even with the capitalist system, we really experience it to the extreme, both the good and the bad of capitalism. So the polarization of society or hyper competition, I think people are very sensitive to how that happens and to reacting to that. And because of that, in turn, filmmakers are also trying their best at expressing it accurately.
네, 그런데 이제 그것을 어떤 필름메이커들, 예를 들어서 패러사이트를 만든 봉준호라든가 스퀴드 게임 만든 황동혁이라든가 또 저라든가 이런 어떤 필름메이커들은 그것을 그냥 아주 스트레이트하게 아주 그냥 고지곳대로 그렇게 리얼리스틱하게만 묘사하기보다는 이 자본주의 시스템 하에 살고 있는 사람들의 문제, 이 부조리함을 좀 더 유머러스하게, 다시 말해서 풍자, 세타이어를 통해서 묘사하는데 그렇게 해야 좀 더 본질을 더 잘 포착할 수 있다라고 믿는 것 같습니다.
And for some filmmakers like Bong Joon-ho for Parasite or Hwang Dong-hyuk for Squid Games or myself, I think rather than portraying it straight and giving it a realistic portrayal, we rather turn to absurd problems that people in this capitalist system experience, and we try to humorously give a satire of that. And I think that is the way to best capture the essence of the problems that we're dealing with.
Well, yeah, but why does he think Americans? Why Koreans seem to be better at doing that right now than Americans?
못한다고 생각해요.
미국에서도 그런 일을 잘하는 감독이 있고요. 한국에서는 오히려 그런 작품들이 더 미국인들에게 더 주목을 받았기 때문에
He's saying we suck, right? He's saying we suck. That's what he's saying.
그렇게 보이는 것 같습니다.
There are American filmmakers who are good at that, and some Korean people really appreciate that more than perhaps American audiences do here. So maybe we see that better than American audiences do here.
Well, why are you drawing dicks right on that? Can I see that? You're not even. I don't even know what he said, by the way, because you blocked it with the cup on screen, and now no one can. Okay. The Director Park, I could talk to you forever about films, but these people are unappreciative. They want to. No, I could talk to you forever, but I respect your time, and thank you so much for coming on the show, speak to me,
Thank you.
and making music to me. Thank you for coming. And I love your film right now. No other choice. It's in select theaters now. Park Chan-wook, everybody.